why does tech hate me? It's like every time it's something different. Let me know. So stream should be back. Audio might be back, I'm hoping at least. And of course, Windows decides to install updates while I reboot the laptop, which is as usual. Okay, audio is working. I think I've had that exact same issue before, but I do not understand why it's happening. Anyways, let's start the stream today. People are asking about the tea. This is what helps me stay calm in these situations. This is just regular herbal tea. It's nothing special. Green tea at night. I don't know. I do need to sleep sometime today. Yeah, that's why Linux is better. Yeah, I'd be spending like 2 weeks to set everything up and then maybe have it work. And after the next update, I wouldn't have it work. Anyways, I heard people like all over the world don't have like electrical kettles to boil water. Is that true? Do you just use microwaves? Do you just like heat up your stuff on the oven? How do you make warm water? Do you have your water heater set so hot that it just comes out the tap boiling? How do you do that? Yeah, but just to get that out of the way, yeah, I am using Windows. Linux tried it for a while, didn't. Well, I spent 3 years on Linux only. Went through a heap of different distros. I ended up with Gentoo in the end, but then Windows 7 came out, and I was like, this is better. And that was the end of that. I still know my way around Linux and like Raspberry Pi stuff. I have no problem dealing with. But for like day-to-day use, especially when it comes to video editing, it's either Mac or Windows. And I don't have like 4K to spend on, or 4K euros to spend on an editing rig that can handle 4K videos. So yeah, put it on the stove and boil it and nuke it in the microwave. That's a good idea. Anyways, let's get on topic. So today, Atom 2.0 to Atom 2.5 EX upgrade. If you look at the video title, it looks like Layer 1, the guys making the Atom, are pulling a Tesla with their naming scheme there, you know, having the 2.5 EX. I don't know. Sounds like the plan Elon Musk was going for in the first place. But yeah, hence why they have a Model 3, but E was like trademark, so whatever. This is an upgrade from the 2.0. Yes, this is a 2.0. This is not the 2.5 without the dual extrusion. People were asking about that last time because this guy has the, what's it called, the Atom shell on it. This is an optional upgrade for the 2.0. Also, the heated bed is also in this guide. It has the solid state relay in here. And yeah, last time, so that was yesterday, we disassembled this thing, tore it down, stripped it down, prepared it for the upgrade. All the parts are over there. I don't know if this camera can actually, no, it's just not wide enough, but right back there behind the Atom there, that's all the parts we're going to use for the upgrade, and that's what we're going to do today. Let's get into it. Where did I put my mouse? Right over here. So let's jump back into the manual again. Of course, Chrome didn't restore all its tabs, so I had to open all of those up again. Yeah. Okay, disassembly, disassembled everything. So the first thing we are going to reassemble is, no, this button, that button, is the effector, or, you know, essentially the effector stays the same because that's only this aluminum ring right here, but we are reassembling the hot end assembly. Because this is a Bowden hot end, so it's only the hot end itself plus the 2-part cooling fans and the hot end cooling fan. And they're going to stay on, right, that are mounted to the effector. And we are using all new parts for that, or mostly new parts. We are keeping the fans. There's 1, 2, and the small one. But we are using a new hot end, which is this guy. which is, well, let's compare the two now that we have him out and disassembled. Let's make sure we don't mess, yeah, don't swap him. Yeah, I guess it's pretty hard to confuse these two. So what it looks like is a blurry mess, first of all. There we go. Okay, so this is the old one. I had two of these. This is number 2, and this is the new guy. They still have that titanium one-piece, or mostly one-piece construction. The nozzle looks a bit different, like this. This rim down here that houses the thermistor is thicker on the new one. It's still the same disc heater. This guy has the wires back here. Oops. That's the old one back here, and this is the new one over here. The throat is a bit thicker and longer. This one also now uses a 4mm outside. Fix the broken fan? No. This has a 4mm outside diameter Bowden or Teflon liner in here. And this one has a 3mm outside one. So this one has a weaker Teflon liner. It's not an all metal hot end. It is sort of a hybrid type that uses titanium for the mechanical construction, but still has and for the insulation, but still has the Teflon liner in there. So it's sort of like an E3D Light 6 machine from titanium, I guess. And yes, a bit more thermal mass, that is correct. Where's the hammer? We are not using a hammer today. I don't think we will. Okay, we have, what do we need? So old fans, this old, where is it? Right here. This clip sits in the hot end right above the how to framing. There we go. This thing sits right below the, come on. This guy sits right below the cooling portion of the hot end, and as the hot end fan blows over these fins, it makes sure that none of the air actually gets leaked down onto your part or cools down the heated zone. Look at that machining, so shiny, so shiny. All right, new effector cover, new PTFE tube, new hot end, new fan ducts. Let's sort of get those together and yeah, prepare for upgradation. And it looks like we're, oh, this one's bent. Did I bend that one? Okay, it's pretty soft. It looks like we're actually gonna have to take off a bit from the fans and you know, at least disassemble this shiny cover on here and replace it with the with these new custom ones. Will I buy Prusa i3 Mark II for you? Why should I? Give me a good reason for it. Short PTFE tube. That's this guy. Then upgrade kit. I'm thinking this contains most of the parts that we're going to need for this step. So filament junction connector. That's this guy. A few washers. Maybe, yeah, there's a few washers in here. Hot end stop spring. That might be these. Or that tiny one. That's the tiny one. Okay. We're also not using this Teflon part. We are using the shorter one. And that's, well, that's pretty much it. The effector cover, the new one. That is this one. So yeah, race car style cover right there. And this slot up here, this houses the hot end. And it's pretty much the same idea. It's mounted back here. And then this front portion just swivels up and flexes essentially to trigger the optical end stop in this case. E3D Cyclops, it is not similar to the E3D Cyclops. It is similar to the Prometheus system because they are using a let's just reiterate on that. They are using a 2-in 1-out feeder. So you get 2 filament inputs. This is the connecting piece, 2 filament inputs and 1 filament output. So it retracts the filament completely out of this coupler part. Down here is the hot end, so it feeds into the hot end. And depending on which side it feeds from, either it feeds from this side or the other, they both feed into the same hole, essentially. So yeah, one hot end, but only one feed into the hot end. So it's only using one filament at a time. Bits from zip ties. Cool. So caution, do not pull the PTFE coated wires out of the hot end. Doing so will short circuit and damage the thermistor. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. And mount this stuff. So this is a step-by-step process. This is the finished, yeah, the finished image, and this is the step-by-step guide. So let's start with that. Let's start with the fans then, I guess. Somebody's asking, did I hear from Prusa about the Clone Mark II? Yeah, we chat. Prusa and I, we are in touch, and now obviously Prusa has his own background in open source rep wrapping, in open source 3D printing, and that's all I'm doing essentially. I'm just, you know, building printers off of open source designs. I'm pretty sure he's cool with it, even though he's not explicitly stated that. So these little screws come off, and I think we're going to use, yeah, we're going to use the same ones to screw the new fan covers on. Note the orientation of the fan's vent when installing the fan ducts. Okay, let's note that. So this is the output right here. These look like weird hybrid radial axial fans. So they're not the GPU style radial type, but they have fan blades like they are an axial one. And somebody was asking about the exact fan type. There you go, that's the one. So this has a fine slot down here where you're gonna get the air blowing over your part. This actually slides over the, oh yeah, this is a tight fit. This actually slides over the fan, replaces part of its housing, and there you go. There's your integrated well, fan shroud. And these tiny screws screw back in. Ah, yes, the tea. People are already being nice and reminding me about my tea. While it's still warm, I wouldn't call it hot, but it's warm enough. Are those fans axial fans? They are radial ones by how they function, but the blades look like they are sort of a hybrid type. But they are radial types. They're not the classic plastic housing ones, obviously, because they have an aluminum housing and they are a lot slimmer. But yes, they are radial ones. Yeah, the old discussion, whose idea that 2-in-1-out system was originally, and I think I dug up like a post from Adrian himself. Adrian, I never know how to pronounce him. Boyer, the guy who came up with the original RepRap idea. Professor Boyer. So yeah, I dug up a post from him like a few days before anyone else posted anything about the 2-in-1-out system. So I guess it's, at least from what I'm concluding, I guess it's his original idea shared as a part of RepRap. So yeah, basically. Carol Double what? Double saying, yeah, he had the Mark II without hiccup. I mean, depending on how you use it and depending on whether you get a Monday unit or not, I have seen people having issues with their machines. But I still stand behind the fact that like the Mark II is actually the one printer I absolutely use the most. It is the one printer that is running pretty much 24/7 for me, unless it's in the background of one of my videos and will be making noise there. But yeah, it's still my workhorse. It's not the flashiest, fanciest printer. It's just a basic machine. It's a basic workhorse. But it doesn't do dual extrusion yet, which is a big I wish it was doing dual extrusion better than it better than it is. I don't think the dual extrusion upgrade kits are shipping even. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. They are a similar concept. They are up to 4 in 1 out. So yeah, if that guy was doing dual extrusion, I'd be totally crazy about it, but it's just not yet. Plus, like the 2 in 1 out, just to get that out of the way, the 2 in 1 out version idea is not perfect. It's not the end all solution. Yes, it removes the need of like adjusting and calibrating hot end offsets from one to the other. It removes the idle oozing hot end, but you need to print similar materials. Sort of. I did go into that yesterday. Like when you're trying to print white and black filament, you will need to purge a lot before you can start printing with the white one again. What? Okay. Or you will end up with bits of gray where the changeover is happening. So yeah. Cool, so the manual is telling us to pull out the Teflon liner in the hot end and replace it with the longer one. Okay. So this one isn't pushed in or screwed in too tightly. So as you can see, there is that Teflon liner inside the hot end. And that goes pretty much all the way into the melt zone. And we are supposed to push in a 2mm hex keel. Let's do that. Okay, that works. That's a cool concept of pulling out Bowden tubes. That's nice. There's one, and the other one is right in here, right in the parts box. Is this cut straight? It's not quite. Well, let's see how far does this one go in? Pretty far. It's not, so this guy is not cut perfectly straight. So there we go. It's, you can sort of see this side and the other one back here are sort of at an angle, but I'm just going to use it like that. If we run into an issue, we know where to look. Okay. And the Bowden coupling is coming off. Okay, we're not using that one. We cannot screw that on physically anymore. Okay. Firmware support, independent dual extrusion, like what BCN are doing. That's like my favorite right now. Cura 2 handles like the idle one, especially with PVA, really well, where it actually cools down the hot end. Firmware support for that has been there for a long while, like 2 independent x-axes. That's been in mainstream Marlin for a good while. Right. Moving on. We have removed that Omron logo faces upwards. So they are using Omron optical barrier switches. Is this going to have a step-by-step? No, this is just one single step. Okay. What do we assemble first? Illustration when carefully threading the wires, do not pull tightly. So I guess first of all will be the end stop right here. Omron logo facing upwards. So there is our upper effector cover. I guess that's what they're calling it. And we get a separate one, a separate end stop for the effector. And there are these JST connector housings included, because some of the wires, not this one, but some of the, come on, some of the end stop wires actually just come with the plain crimped JST connectors, and you have to slot them into the housings yourself. Oh, that's not what I want to show you. There you go. No, Panasonic, come on. There we go. Bare JST crimped connectors, and you get to slide them into the housings yourself after you thread them down the, can you see one of these? Yeah, these V-slots. They are just routed inside the V-slot all the way from the top to the bottom. So there are no visible wires from, you know, the top to the bottom. They're all routed inside the V-slots. Let's not lose these connector housings. So that is, yes, this is the one that we need. Is Cura Craftware better for slicing? What do you prefer? I've not used Craftware much, but I, you know, from using Cura 2, especially like 2.4, 2.5, I really have no need to upgrade. So there's our optical end stop, and there is the Omron Japan logo right there. And this one just slots in like this, but I guess we will need to route the wire out of the way somehow. Which is, oh, so this, supposedly this just routes out the top. We'll see, we will see. M10 times 2. So we are getting this nice assortment box, and I'm thinking, no. Well, okay, so the sizes we get in here are fairly hard to confuse. These should be, no. The thing is though, we are getting M3 times 4, 6, 8, 10, and 15. So a bunch of different sizes all in one box. This one is the 10mm, and this is the, come on. Yeah, that's the two M3 times 10mm screws. Let's get them in. Optic for Z Probe 2, yes, that is actually where Atom 3D or Layer 1 are saying it makes the largest difference for consistency. I will try to test these probes against, do we not have nut nut? These screws are too short for nut nuts. I will have to test whether it actually makes a difference in consistency, because so far in the end stops myth busting video, I've, you know, these do reach. I've not seen any downsides to just using mechanical switch, especially once you remove that that lever, that metal one, and just use the actual micro switch contact like you are in like mice, computer mice. And at that point they are almost unbeatable. So I'm not sure how much of a difference these optical ones do make. I will grab a Tamiya wrench, and I do have the proper buttons for be right back and all that. So let's. Theoretically, that should have had the music in there, I think. What I'm just realizing is I have all these Tamiya wrenches, They're pretty nice, but the one that I'm using the most, the one that actually has these cross sections, these cross parts in here, the M3 or 5.5 millimeter socket is like completely worn down. This thing is completely destroyed, so I'm not going to be able to use this for the nuts. So I've got this cordless drill compatible one that I will try to use instead. I don't have a regular 5.5 millimeter wrench, which I'm thinking I should maybe buy one at some time. At some point, just, you know, go out there, go to the store and purchase one. Is this... Oh, that's the wrong hex key. That's why it's not gripping. No music? Why is there no music? By the way, for everyone watching, what is YouTube saying about stream delay? What is if you do right click on the video feed and say stats for nerds? What's the number of, like, what is it? Video latency buffering thing it tells you? Yesterday it was between 10 and 25 seconds, which is normal. On the Tom's 3D Live channel, I was getting like 30 seconds, even on the low latency settings. So I'm not sure what was going on there exactly. Print one, yeah, unfortunately, plastic is not really strong enough for this. 16.2, 19, 8.8. Wow, that's a new low score. 8 to 13, 18, 33. 33 is quite a lot. I'm thinking like YouTube does something where it automatically detects how good your internet connection is and buffers appropriately, or at least it tries to. Okay, so this one goes behind the hot end. So there might be a bit of inconsistency. 32, wow. It's interesting. I always thought it was like a consistent 14 for everyone. Spam? Nope. I ask you for it. So route the wires. Let's see. Let's try to line it up like that. So these are routed down the side. Okay. 31, jumping around 25.1 on an Xbox. Yeah, I guess that has apps. Can just okay, I can push these through here. 6 to 10 seconds. Wow. Okay, so you are supposed to route these wires through this particular slot. It's quite tight to get them through. You can't like slide them in on the side because the space right there is not large enough. But you have to push the connectors through directly. So let's pull them down. 110 and 10 Mbit connection and still 36.2 seconds delay. Wow, YouTube. Talk about consistency. So this guy is pulled through. We're not supposed to pull these tight, which totally makes sense. But that's how this guy is going to line up. There we go. So this right here, and as usual with the atom effectors, there's the hot end part on the, get out of here. There's the hot end part on the bottom here, and we are going to screw in a coupler on top that basically clamps the sheet metal part, and that's going to be this one right here. This is the dual extrusion, what are they calling it? Filament junction connector. So this, I suppose, pops onto the filament junction aluminum piece. Everything is just so nicely machined. I do have to applaud Adam for that again. That's been one of the virtues on the original 2.0, and it still is with this 2.5 upgrade. I wish I remembered where I had the wrenches, the original ones. But I can grab the regular, the Atom branded wrenches. I'm just going to use the regular ones for this. Let's say 10. So does this clamp tight? Okay, something is rotating. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be rotating or not, but yeah, it's tight, it's on there. Perfect. Am I going to review a Tronc CX1? Probably not, because the queue for reviews is so large already. I don't think I can like start another one. Bite of Blender, that obviously includes delay for me seeing the comment and reading it. But you can compare like what the video, what the burned in chat says, and what you are seeing or when you are typing it. So that should be a very accurate representation of how long the delay is between when you type a comment and to when you see my reaction. That's hard to explain. Right, so that's that assembly in here. So up here, let's see how this fits in. Ah, okay. So up here, the junction connector is gonna sit. There we go. And that's just gonna turn our single hot end into a dual input one. And there are grub screws here and on the other side. So that's how it's gonna tighten down onto this connector. And it feels like it's sort of magnetic too, maybe not. Okay, so that is assembled. We have no mouse there. We have the junction connector, we have the wires routed, we have the hot end in. Next up, fans, and these are 2mm, so M2 screws again. They are including fresh ones. So let's reassemble this. This was do not pull tightly. Okay, that was the wires. Yeah, like this little bit right here with the tiny nuts and the tiny screws through the fans. That was like the worst part about assembling the Atom in the first place. Wait, do we get to install the shim, the heat shim? No, we don't yet. Do we push that in later? Hold on, I'm wondering about this guy. That is basically an air guide. Do you get to install this at all? No, this is far later. There we go. So that's the last step that we install it in. Okay. 47-second. Wow. You'll see the burned in ones. Okay, so yeah, the burned in chat versus, you know, browser chat, it should be the same window. It should be the exact same, you know, feed. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes it's like 10 seconds delayed on top of the regular video delay. So something's going on there. But YouTube is still learning. YouTube is still a young platform, right? They're not like the biggest video delivery service on the planet. Don't expect them to be perfect. And of course I need the tiny, no, I need the 1.5mm actually. Ooh, people are comparing stream hosts now. Okay, let's take a step back. I cannot do this with just two hands. I'm gonna get a mini vise because, aka third hand more or less, because this is impossible. And yeah. And I'd rather have it, you know, coherent, entertaining for you all, if I can do it by just, you know, grabbing an extra piece. So here we go. These are like the generic import vise. Is that plural of a vise? These guys, they are sold by a lot of different brands, and they're pretty awesome. So they have this ball head in the bottom, and then a tiny vise up here. And this guy is pretty dusty. Yeah, that's what happens when you tear out walls. And this clamps down, it just stays in place. So that I've used as a third hand for soldering for a long time, and I've actually been pretty happy with that. So we'll just keep on using it for, well, how do I clamp this? I could just clamp the hot end. No, I can't because that's in the way. Screw heads? Yeah, that works. I'm just clamping on top of these two screw heads right there, which probably isn't the cleanest way to do it, but I mean, it's in there, it's in there. Right back into the box. Well, stay here. Stay here. Okay. There we go. So this tab right here, which is probably pretty hard to see because it's dark, this is where the fan mounts to. Screw through one hole and a nut on the other side, which we still need to grab with a tiny set of pliers. Now, even with the vise, I'm short on hands. This is one of the things I'm gonna give layer 1 crap about, because this is still not a lot of fun to assemble. I can maybe get in here from the bottom. Maybe. Yeah, much better. This actually lines up. I'm gonna make a review for this version. Considering it's the first 2-in-1 out printer I'm gonna be using, probably maybe like an update. I sort of do want to start. This is so hard. I sort of do want to start making like update videos on, like for example, the Ultimaker that's been out, or the Ultimaker 3 that's been out for almost half a year now. And a lot of the things that I've critiqued about or criticized, I guess I've critiqued it also, but I've criticized about the release version might have been fixed by now. Same with the Sigma. Sigma R17 is a machine that I love a lot. I think the concept is great. The machine still has a few shortcomings, but BCN is being very responsive to my suggestions and to stuff I keep pointing out to them. So yeah, when you buy it half a year after the review, it might be a totally different experience. So yeah, I sort of do want to, can I put screws in from the other side? Yeah, but that doesn't help. So yeah, I do want to get into those update video types because it makes sense to have them. It just makes sense. I'm guessing that there is a more elegant option to doing this, like having a some sort of a magnetic nut holder or whatever, but I don't have one of those. Like a socket, but with a socket you can't really get into that tight space at all, I think, so that the nuts are back here, right in here. Yeah, Whatever. These are in. Let's move on. Next side. Same thing again, just mirrored. I'm planning on upgrading the Prusa to an S. Which Prusa? The DIY Prusa or my kit Prusas? The official ones. For the DIY one, yeah, I might just reprint the... there we go. I might just reprint like the extruder parts, because like the new clamping for the probe is pretty nice. It's better than the old one. The commercial ones, so the official ones, I guess, not sure if I have to upgrade or review those, because they are working pretty well. And the biggest changes from the regular, or the original Mark II to the Mark II S would be like reliability upgrades for bearings and rods and like details like that. It's not a huge thing. Blue tack to hold the nuts. Yeah, we have blue tack. But there's nothing to hold on to. It's just this sheet metal rail. Monoprice does not send out review units? What? Let me try that. Yeah. Get over here. There we go. So, little tiny nut on the little tiny screw. There it is. And if you've got shaky hands, this is not the upgrade for you. If you've got side issues with, I mean, I am nearsighted, but if you like need glasses and don't have them, you probably should get some before you try this upgrade, or you try the 2.5 assembly. But then again, it was the same thing with the 2.0. How can I even reach in here? How did I reach in there last time? Holy crap. Okay, it's tight. Might be a bit bent, but it's tight, at least. Okay. Chat is on slow mode. What? Yeah, every 10 seconds, so yeah. Okay, there is our updated or partially assembled effector. If we actually get it in frame and in focus, then you guys are going to be seeing something. There we go. So 2 fans on the side with the new shiny housings and a single piece titanium hot end on the bottom. Cool. Still no 2-in-1 out coupler on the top. First, though, the fan. This guy is already broken from last time. So this center hub is held in by this one tiny plastic bit right there. How do we route the wires? Let's check. So wires all route out this little slot where the hot end sits in. So that's this one. That's this one and this one. Also the one for the fan. Just gonna route like that. Okay, the thing is, these have threads in them. Or M3 6x2. Okay, so this guy goes on the inside. Wow, that is a tight fit. That is a really tight fit. But it's gonna work, most likely. 6 4. No, these are 6. So that's the 8mm ones. We get the super tiny 4. Wow, webcam, what's up with you? Super tiny 4mm ones, and there's the other 6. Look at that! Look at that tiny 4mm M3 screw. This guy. It's so cute. It's so fluffy. Why am I using the 2.0 instructions? Because this guy is a 2.0. Used to be. It won't be when I'm done with it, but right now it still is a 2.0. As far as I can tell, unless I'm completely misunderstanding something, but yeah. That's what it is. That's each one. There. What's the upside of using titanium for a hot end versus which alternative? I guess that would be the question. Titanium has a rather low heat conductivity, so they can use it as a one-piece design. They don't have to use like stainless for the heat break and copper, brass, aluminum for the heater block where it actually needs to transfer heat. So it's a simpler design. From a technical standpoint, well, also the because the nozzle is probing against the glass bed. If it was brass, I'd be afraid that it just gets hammered flat after a while, because this is, this exact pointy nozzle is hammering against the glass bed when it auto levels and auto trams, compensates, whatever. And brass might wear down because they are using quite a few probing spots. I don't think that's an actual issue, but it's one of those things to factor in. Also, titanium is a cool material, even though it probably doesn't make the most sense from a technical standpoint. Right, and that's actually the last part for the effectors. So upper hot end windshield. Windshield, that's an interesting choice of words. So this guy clamps onto wow. Right here. I'm hoping I'm not going to be slicing the wires, but it is looking good. Okay, that is in. That's going to keep this fan right here, which cools the hot end from blowing down onto our print. And that should be that. And also this part keeps the part cooling fans apart, because otherwise they would have a tendency of just falling inwards or swiveling inwards towards the hot end, the hot end. Try if it spins by hand. What, the fan? This guy? Totally spins, as do the ones on the outside. Totally cool. What's better or worse? PLA bushings or LM8U? Depends on what you're going for. I've always been sort of happy with the cheap LM8U. You'd need to like calculate with about a 10-20% rejection ratio, where you just throw the bearing away because it's either too tight or too loose. Like PLA bushings, I'd be afraid that they wear down or deform in the long run. But if you grease them well, they can work. It's just a thing of what feels better to you, what you're more comfortable with using. M3 hot end spring. Okay, so this guy also gets disassembled. I don't think I have. No, this is still on here. Wait, is this literally the same assembly that we had before? No. No, it is not. Okay. This guy is coming apart as well. No hot end cover anymore? What hot end cover? The one on the bottom here? And apparently not. Apparently not. Where did I put that? Here. So this guy right here that used to be like a shield over the hot end. I guess not. Because the manual doesn't say anything about it. It's just not in there. See, all open. Might be an advantage for cooling. I don't know, for like part cooling, or they might have upgraded the heater used in the hot end. This is the complete wrong set of tools to do this. So there is a spring in here, which is probably going to pop as soon as I unscrew it far enough. And there is a new spring included, which I'm going to use, even though it looks like it's the exact same one that I've been using before. How do you keep the LM8Us from losing ball bearings? What? LM8Us shouldn't be losing their balls on their own. They should be self-retaining. The only point where an LM8U could be losing balls is if you push it onto a rod at an angle. So if the bearing is tilted and you try to push the rod in, it actually scrapes the balls out. But otherwise, the balls should be pretty solidly stuck in the bearing. So yeah, that is not something that should be happening. M3 times 25. So let's check this. M325. Oh. Hex screw, BHSC. Ah, that's an M5. Okay. M3 times 25. The spring. The spring right here. And pair of washers. You guys are so immature. It's not even funny. 2 washers. That overhead camera looks so bad. Every time I switch back to it, it's like it pains me. Also, the focus today seems really bad as well. Not sure why that is. Pretty much got the camera on the same settings as always. Now it's better. Interesting. How far do we screw this in? So I'm guessing this is the adjustable, or the option for adjusting at which height the sensor triggers. Is there a software fine adjust? I think so. This is like a really easy mechanical fine adjust for setting nozzle height, which I like. Software is all good and nice, and like what the Prusa does with the live adjust Z. That's all nice and good, but having it mechanical, directly adjustable, seeing how far you adjust it is always nice to have. Okay, so that screw is in. Now we are mating those two. Just a few kilometers from here is the what? It actually drops through quite a far bit. Quite a few. Just a few kilometers from here is the BMW plant, Dingolfing, which is one of the largest automotive factories in the world. And yeah, when they drop the, is it the chassis? More or less, yeah. When they drop the chassis onto the engine, or drop the engine into the chassis, it's the Hochzeit, the marriage essentially of those two parts. And it's kind of the same thing here. We are dropping the core into its mechanical guide. So I guess. Yeah, fingers are too stubby. 2 of the short screws. That's an interesting question. Does anybody think A clone MK8 is better than A clone E3D? Which one? There are thousands of different versions that you know, some of them are nicer, some of them are not as nice. There's no one E3D clone. There's no one MK8 extruder. There are thousands of versions. There you go. Their part number for those layer fans I showed you earlier. If someone has the timestamp, you can scroll back in the live video or in the live stream and check out what those are called. Can we get them on camera? Maybe we can get them on camera even. There you go, just for you. Take a screenshot of that. There is your part number for the fans. Cool. Do I live near Wolfsburg? Nope. That's the wrong German car company. Wolfsburg is Volkswagen. And it's pretty much the other side of Germany. Like 8 hours away. Ah, not quite. More like 6 or 7. Cool, that thing's done. Basically. So we have the adjustment screw for the Z end stop done. Oh yeah, now we're getting... How does this thread through? That's interesting. So this thread's around the... No. What? Oh, okay. So this thing basically tensions the hot end more firmly against the carriage, or the upper assembly more firmly against the carriage, because again this thing just swivels up, this thing lifts out, and this is just pulling this upper part more firmly against the carriage as we tie a spring around this adjustment screw. Interesting concept. Where did I put that spring? Actually, I had it last time. There it is. So long tension screw. Basically one. There. These are absolutely my favorite pliers. 100%. Even though I've just screwed that up probably. No, that hooks to the up. Knipex, long nose, 140, what are these? Model number 2612200. Awesome pliers. I might get them in chrome plated next time, but for like right now, this is... I've probably used these more than any other tool I own. There we go. That's tied around. Okay. There's the spring down there. No. Manual focus. Okay. So the spring is clipped onto the upper... Let's get these out of the way. To the upper carriage assembly, and oh yeah, this is a lot tighter now. It just wraps around this screw down here, and in here these two screws hold the optical end stop. So this screw right down here reaches into that optical end stop. You probably cannot see it, but yeah, it's right in here. So as this thing lifts up, it removes the screw out of the end stop, and that thing untriggers essentially. Good evening, Ben. Next up, dual extruder system. Yeah, so we are getting new spool mounts. The old one was horrible. We are assembling a new spool mount that holds 2 spools, thankfully, and should keep them from unwinding themselves. Effector wire. Oh, let's just go step by step. So carefully thread the wire harness with 2 hands and do not pull it forcefully. So where do we thread it through right now? Do we thread it through the... at a later date? Okay. Overview. Preparation. Pre-installation. We still have that part. We removed it last time. Is it? Did we? Is that the same one? Yeah, it is. Why did we... This guy right here, this guy. This sat on top of the atom in one of the corners and basically held the center beam. I thought we had... Wait, what? Do we install this one or do we remove it? We keep it. Why did we remove it in the first place? It's... I might have worked off of the wrong manual there. I don't know. But yeah, this one is gone. We are going to reinstall it. Which is cool. Which is totally cool. When's my Delta clone build coming? I already do have like my own Delta thing, but this one would be pretty hard to clone because there are no source files. First of all, no source files for all the individual bits like the carriages, the belt mounts, the end stop mounts, even the triangles are not published. So that's all pretty much a closed source ordeal. Yeah, and also it's most of it is metal, so I wouldn't really have an option to clone that or to copy that without, you know, spending big cash on getting stuff custom machined. So yeah, not really anything to clone there. So let's see, M3 times 8 is the official screw size for the ones in here, and this guy I think is a... Oh, this is an 8. This goes through here. Does it? Thinking these are 8s and not 6s. Yeah, these are 6s. Let's see, yeah. The long one is an 8 and the short one is a 6mm long one. Wires? Yeah, in a second. Why did Nightbot delete that? I don't know. But the manual I am using is for 2.0. Yes, that's because I am upgrading a 2.0. I am using the 2.0 upgrade kit, which upgrades it to the 2.5, but this printer right now still is a 2.0 at this point. How to get the wires out, that might make sense. Okay, that's one end of the crossbeam trimmed. The slot covers by 18mm. Why did they not pre-trim them? And that's the next bracket right there. That's the other one. Now also with a... This one feels like it's steel. This one is aluminum. Now also with the Atom logo laser etched in there, or not laser etched, engraved. Physically engraved. That guy's also getting the M3 times 8 plus T-nut treatment. Is Nightbot online this evening? You bet he is. And these screw in like that. So screws over here from the inside and nuts on the outside. And the cool thing about these nuts is these hammer nuts or T-slot nuts. It's weird, people don't believe it's 2.0. Yeah, these hammer nuts, the cool thing is you just screw them on beforehand, you drop it onto the V-slot, and then you turn the screw, you start twisting the screw or turning the screw, and it auto locks into place and then lets you, I'm not sure if I'm visualizing that well, but it starts out as a 90-degree turn screw, so 90-degree to the T-slot. So let's say the V-slot runs this way. Drop it in, drops in, you start tightening it, and it turns this far, and at that point, if you keep screwing it in, it tightens the T-nut or T hammer nut down. Why is it not easy to understand that 2.0 is being upgraded to 2.5? What's so difficult about that? Trim the slot covers by 18 millimeters. Trim the slot covers by 18 to 632. Use a box to support the frame while threading the wires. Okay, we will do that. Trim the slot covers by 18 millimeters. So I'm thinking that's these that are stored inside the new spool mount profile. Wow, Nightbot is laggy today. And that's these two covers, and these I assume just slot into the V slot and cover up those. Yes, they do. Okay. And I'm supposed to trim these to 632 millimeters, or by 18. So I'm thinking they were shipped with the wrong length because they are, well, if they're 632, then they were shipped with 650 default length. So that might just be a standard factory length. Knife. And we need to get some tape. This stream is not sponsored by anyone. So let's get the branding off of this guy. If we can. Ah, yes. Perfect. Nobody will know where that measuring tape came from. So 632. That's right there. Not the best knife for this job. And I don't just want to clip him off with side cutters because that's just gonna mash them. And I trim by 18 millimeters. Let's just check out that piece that we just cut off. This piece is 32 millimeters long, almost. No idea what that is in inches, but that's how long it is. So I guess these come a bit longer than 650 from the factory. Next up is the Mark II S Plus. Not sure how much I can say about that yet, but yeah. It's probably not going to be the Mark II S Plus. When it comes to Prusa's printers. Cool, slot covers are trimmed. Trim the slot covers. Did that. Before the next step, Use a box to support the frame while threading the wires. So let's do that. Is there one specific corner that we need to keep open? Yeah. I'm guessing the rear one. So box. Let's use... Can we use a regular filament box? That's a sturdy one. Perfect. Bit shaky. A little bit, but... Yeah, it's gonna hold up. Okay. Now I can definitely not see how tall this thing is. Actually, let's get some measuring tape in here. So the table is at a 93 centimeters. That's the height of this table right here. So we add the height of the printer, that's including the covers, that's 74 centimeters. So that makes it what, 160 something. And then we add the box, which is another 7 centimeters. So it's yeah, too tall for me. I'm no Dutchman, unfortunately, or Swede, or whatever. I'm no Viking. So printer's up on a box. Next up, we install the new spool mount. M3 times 30, that's the long ones down here. These guys, washer, nylock nut, plus the new wire harness. Choose one motor wire to set to mark as E0. How do we mark it? Just marker it with a Sharpie. Let's see. Andre, you're betting 10 years that this printer will smash something? Drop and smash something? You could just slide the back corner off the table. Yes, that's an option. That is definitely an option, and I think I assembled it that way originally. But yeah, the official instructions are using a box, so I am going to use a box. When you go with Mark II multicolor printing, when the kit is ready, is it yet? Come on, there we go. Okay, there is our new wire harness. So we have a bit of heat shrink on this spot right here, another bit of heat shrink right there. I think that's, yeah, where it enters and leaves the aluminum profile, so it doesn't get rubbed through or sliced through. So yeah, how tall am I? Let me get off my Birkenstock. I never know, but yeah, still the same height. You can probably figure it out with perspective and math and stuff. Right, aluminum profile. So M3 washer, and we are gonna connect this guy right here to one end, and that is the end. That is the end. Yes, confirmed. This is supposed to slot in? It's supposed to slot into this guy? Apparently. Yeah, it does. That's one of the sounds that I absolutely cannot stand. Like ceramic rubbing against metal or other ceramic. Like aluminum anodizing is aluminum oxide, which is actually, it is the same material that sapphire is, as far as I know, and ruby, and that is essentially ceramic. doesn't matter which side. So yeah, these two parts rub against each other. They have a well, somewhat coarse anodizing. It's not quite as smooth as you'd have on phones, for example. These two things rubbing against each other, that's just yeah, gives me goosebumps. Not in a good way. I am on the Atom video intro. Yeah, I am. I think they edited down the long build live stream that was the 14-hour one. I think they edited that down to something more watchable too. Not sure if they have published it, but that's the idea. So this cross beam, this filament spool holder beam is now connected to one end, and we are going to thread some wires through. Let's see. So that's the one with all the connectors over here, and that goes, excuse me, that goes to the end with the part on here. So it exits down the bottom here. That's going to be interesting, getting all those wires back out. One more. I feel like I could use just a guy in the background commenting everything I do, just like have a second audio feed. I guess that would be fun, like have a I want to say football, but then half of my viewers will get mad at me, but like have a sports announcer just commenting live. That would be, I guess that would be fun. Extremely pointless, but fun. Let's see. So designate one of the wires as E0. So we do need to add the there is no there are no motor wires yet. We still need to add those, which is this baggie right here. That is one motor wire, but that's just one. Second one, I guess, is the one that's actually connected to the extra motor. Interesting. And this one is tied shut. Golf commentator voice. I guess that would be attracting the wrong audience. I don't just want to have rich white people in this stream. It's like, yeah. Unless it's Tiger Wood, I guess that that offsets the average. Okay. 2 motor wires. So these are 100% identical as far as I can tell. Yeah, same length as well. Yes. Designate one as extruder 1. Well, the thing is, I will need to designate both ends, because if these will go in the same hole, in the same holes even. These will get routed exactly parallel, so I will need to mark one of them on both ends, on the end that gets the connector for the mainboard and on the other one. So Edding time it is. That's our German version of Sharpies. Oh, not sponsored by Edding. Did I drop that? I did not. Ah, that's over there. Okay. So one, it's going to be the black one. And I guess the marked one is going to be number 2. Not that it has anything to do with one being black and the other being white, but just the way I'm going to be able to remember it. Chat is on the right. Well, the chat is also turned into the video feed, so however you watch it, it should be there. Okay, let's see. Good night, Jeremy. Well, good morning if you're going to bed at 5:30. Motorwires, and these also feed through the same profile with the already connected wires facing there, facing this way. Cartoon noises. That sounds like a great idea. Oh, this one's coming through at the bottom. Okay. 1, 2. So I guess wire length, etc., are something I will be able to adjust when we get to it, because these are still super flexible. Okay, there. 1919. Wait, is this actually 19 millimeters? That would be weird. I have chosen one of the wires. That is the chosen one, and the other is the non-chosen one. Effector wire assembly E0, E1. That is interesting. So the main wire harness still goes through the center of the V slot, and E1 goes to the west and E0 to the east of that. Okay. That's interesting. So do we install... So we route the wires first and then we install the bracket. Yeah, because we're not going to be able to get to the bracket otherwise. Okay. Well then, this is going to be interesting. I can't give you guys an angle. Oh, I can move the printer around. Let's try. Let's at least try. By the way, right back here, this is where the table ends, so if I push it any further, it's going to drop. So let's not do that. Now this side actually goes towards the front, so yeah, the guide actually shows that leather band that comes on one of the profiles, or you push onto one of the profiles, gets, you know, moved to the side, moved off to the side, which is, nope, that one. Nah, too tall. So let's actually do that. Is the upgrade taking more time than the regular build? It shouldn't. The estimate I got earlier today was around 3 hours. There's still stuff in here. Guess I should have removed that before. So we still get one motor connector, which is not supposed to be in there. Well, okay, the problem is if I try pulling this through, Just gonna mess it up. We are getting all new motor wires anyway, so let's just remove this guy and pull it through in a single piece. What? So let's try this. So this is just a bundle of wires with a bunch of loose connectors on there. There's a DuPont connector on here and some open wire ends. I'm thinking this just needs to get pushed through as one piece. Let's see if we can get that done. Was I actually on the table when I built this thing? Might have been. There we go. Ooh, but it is jamming. Ah, still moving, still moving. Tristan Inkjet, what exactly are you saying? We might need to remove the optical end-stop cable that goes through that same hole right now. Because there is something, there we go, sticking, there we go. So try number 2, use a tape, pull the cable, use a tape. So yeah, I guess that could work. So I guess just bundle these up into one and then tie something else to it. That probably makes the most sense, I think. Is that in the official instructions? It is not, but yeah, that totally makes sense. Let's do that. What do we tie it to? Filament. Perfect length. Okay. Use string or something. What kind of caveman are you? Using string. Using filament here. Seriously, some people. There's one. Okay, and that is at least tied together so it does not move. Actually, we can switch to the top view. But of course, now we have all these loose wire ends, so I'm just going to wrap that. This one here is just to keep everything in place. Nope. And get in there. Get in there. Stay nice and tight. Okay, blue tape and filament, obviously. What else? So, yeah, we are working on a 3D printer after all. There are no other options. Don't forget the end-stop cable. Don't forget the end-stop cable. We are also upgrading the end stop, yes. Is that a separate manual? Because I do have the set of optical end stops as well. Electronics 40. Why can I not just punch in a number? Okay, electronics 40. Well, if anything, I'm not sure if this is assuming the optical end stops or the mechanical ones. They might be different in their logic. Maybe can we see in here which one they're using? Well, they might, but they might also be just electrically identical. So okay, I'm gonna stick with the mechanical ones for now. But that does mean I have to route the end stop wire back in. Which is okay. So this guy just gets taped right up here. That's gonna fit through. Yeah, I think it should be, if they did the setup right, it should be end stop agnostic. It should be able to use whichever one you have. So, well, if it doesn't, we have to upgrade anyways. That's going to be a different process. But for now, the mechanical ones, at least for the XYZ, are staying in. And here we go. Optical end stops upgrade is another manual. Okay. Well then, that makes sense. So we're through. We've got the bundle down here. Now just to get all the blue tape off again. That's going to be fun. Don't want to just slice it off because you know the wires are sort of sensitive to slicing. And next stream, Tom will undo everything he did today and install the optical install upgrade. Maybe if I actually get around to installing it. Again, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And they are nice end stops for the Z probe. Yeah, maybe not. They are nice end stops. I might be able to use them for something else in the long run. I don't know, does the hang printer actually have end stops? I think it does. Somewhere, maybe. Yeah, Optos should be 3 versus 2 wires. That is correct. Because they have a supply voltage, which mechanical ones sometimes also have if you have like a PCB solution with pull-ups, hardware pull-ups or pull-downs on the PCB, but typically mechanical ones can use the Arduinos or the ATmegas, more correctly. The ATmegas internal pull-ups and pull-downs, or what is it, pull-ups? It only has pull-ups. So it does not need a supply voltage in addition to the data and ground lines it's getting anyways. Well, data signal. It's not a data stream. There we go. Okay, piece of filament. Yeah, the hang printer. Oh yeah, electrical tape would have been a good idea. The hang printer is gonna get built. I don't know when, probably around next month. They are doing like a hackathon, an engineering upgrading, redesigning project soon. I think it's like next weekend or something. So yeah, once that's done, I'm gonna take a look through the files and see what's changed and what they, improved, and, swapped out components, which ones I will need. And then it's off to ordering and building the thing. So next up, motor or extruder wires. They're saying E1 on this side and E0 on the other. Oh gosh, now of course these are not completely mixed up, not quite. And this part, where is it? This steel part right here just slots onto the wires. It has to slot on the front, so we can add that whenever we need to. So 0 on, my right. That just slots through the outside. Wait, on the PCB ones MakerBot designed? What, the PCB end stops? Yes, they are. Well, they are. I don't know if they're actually MakerBot end stops. I think they are. But there's such a simple design. It's like everyone's design at this point. The PCB mechanical end stops that you can buy for 34 cents off of AliExpress, which are actually pretty good. Just a switch on a PCB and the wire. The wire actually makes a difference because that's probably the most expensive part. Micro switches are a few cents, or 1 or 2 cents if you buy a 50 pack of them. The PCB, not that expensive either. Manufacturing, not a whole lot, but wires and crimping, yeah. That does add a bit of cost, and having that included is rather nice. There we go. Yeah, on the outside, because the inside one has a T-nut in it. Hand camera. Yeah, I have actually thought about like printing a robotic arm and setting it up for like pre-programmed positions all around the room. It shouldn't be that hard to do. Now that I think about it, just need some sort of interface that I can control it with. Maybe have it. That would be insanely cool. Just having a Twitch plays Pokemon sort of control setup, where YouTube chat votes where the camera goes. That would be interesting. Yes, the $33 3D printer that went on sale yesterday. That one on wish.com, which I have commented in the Google Plus 3D printing community on. It's a questionable offer to me. Like wish.com isn't, it's not like an Amazon. It's more of an AliExpress. It is an AliExpress sort of page. And I think the $33 3D printer deal that was on there yesterday was mostly just, a viral deal that was meant to be shared as much as possible and get people to sign up for wish.com. I've looked through the offers that are on there, and most of them are pretty much the exact same stuff that you get on AliExpress, but like 50% more expensive. So, and basically the same SOAs. If you look at the descriptions and images and stuff. So I'm not really feeling it. And it seems like only a handful of people actually got the printer at that price. which makes sense because there is no way you can make a 3D printer for $33, even if you are a Far East seller and have like no margins. What do I think about the Helios? Interesting concept. I don't see a reason why you would want, why there is a need to go to Scala motion, but it seems to work pretty well. So yeah, I'm always open to new stuff. I'm actually considering building one because it's such a simple design and it uses a lot of printed parts. So yeah, just standard electronics plus motors and hot end, and I have all that stuff. So I could build it, maybe live. Who knows? Who would like to see that? Well, obviously after the hand printer, that thing sort of has priority right now. But after that, a Helios, maybe. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I think I should get something to drink. Yeah, I will do that. Just answer the, just answering a quick. CreateBot is looking into it as it was unauthorized. Interesting. Quick answer about AliExpress. Is it legit? It's as much legit as eBay and Amazon and whatever. So far, I've had almost no issues with stuff not arriving from AliExpress. It's been a great platform for me. You can find the affiliate links in the video description. Haha. They pay an 8% flat rate affiliate for affiliate purchases. Yeah. AliExpress has been pretty good to me, but so has most stuff on eBay. So yeah, you just have to adjust your expectations to, you know, knowing, yes, this is a Far East product. Yes, it's going to take between 2 and 8 weeks to ship to you. And yes, the seller might be using very exaggerating language in the description. So you might be you are going to get what's advertised, but it might just not be as good, and you just do have to sort of account for that. But most of the stuff, like simple stuff, is pretty nice. I will grab something to drink because my throat is starting to act up, and I will get back to you in 2 minutes or so. Yeah, pretty much. Be right back, literally. Audio muted. Okay. Next time we should be getting music. Broad? What? Did he have music? Probably not. It is not brought by David Cutter anymore. It might have been. It might have played. Maybe. Bum, 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 bum. Right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Where were we? I feel like I lost track. We pulled all the wires through. We got the cable covers on, and 3 screens is a lot of mouse work. Carefully pull to adjust the length. Okay, we still need to hand screw M320. What? Hand screw. No. That's not the hand screw. Hand screw. Oh, is that hand screw as in screwed in by hand? Most likely. Yeah, because it keeps it just keeps it in place. Okay. Makes sense. So this thing bolts in the front and this thing bolts down in the back. Doing it. So depending on who you trust in live chat, there was or was not a song playing in the background with the Be Right Back screen. If there was a song playing, it was David Cutter Broad, which you will be able to find on SoundCloud. If there was no music playing, then there was no music playing. Okay, I lost one of these. Get out of here. Go. Taobao is really cheap. Does Taobao do international shipping? I mean, Google Translate can solve anything, right? The one thing I'm wondering right now is pull to length. Pull to adjust the length. What length do I adjust it to? Do I adjust it to the length where it actually... There we go. Carefully pull to adjust the length. Do I actually adjust it to the length where it is pulled all the way tight? But where are the extruders going to sit? Let me check. Oh, okay. So extruder motor wires will need to reach to the front right down here. Okay, so that's like a 10-15 centimeter leeway. If anything, we can always adjust them later on. No song? No song. Okay. Half a second of a song at start of pause. At start of pause? What? I'm thinking this should be... Wait, so let's check these motor brackets real quick. These sit on the side of... No. Wait, what? How? Is that even the... Oh, what? Okay, these sit with their... Wow. Facing up. Okay, so they attach right here. They attach right here to that beam and then mount the motors back here. That is interesting. So these will... Well, these are okay. These can be a bit shorter. Right there. Yeah. That's going to be plenty of length. So pull that tight. Oh, okay. Motor wires are independent anyways. Okay. Well. They are slightly different length, as it feels like. The Sound of Silence. It was not The Sound of Silence. That thing is copyrighted and I don't have a license to use it. Okay, let's screw this thing down. Question from chat was, do I have a dry box or a filament dryer? So I do not have a dryer. Let's just screw in the one in the back first, maybe. Yeah, I do not have like a dryer set up specifically for filament. I did build a small this way, a small pellet dryer, so filament, raw filament resin dryer from interesting, there's still these T-nuts in here, from like a camping hair dryer at some point. That's too small to dry actual filament. I usually dry my filament in the oven, just regular oven in the kitchen, which does work. Of course, it's not perfect, but then again, not a lot about 3D printing is perfect, so it does get the job done for PTGs, etc., and for nylons, which is really important for that. But those filaments I do keep in the dry boxes. I did make a video about the smaller one, and I've since built a larger dry box that is just filled with silica gel and has spool mounts inside, so I can use the filament directly from the boxes, which is great. It means I don't have to take it out, and I've got a spool mount integrated. So yeah, that's really nice to have, and I would definitely recommend that for, well, at least nylons. Nylons just don't like ambient moisture at all. PTGs, maybe E3D has posted a bit of stuff about how PTG degrades when it is exposed to moisture. So yeah, the more sensitive PTGs and anything that's nylon or PVA, I keep in those dry boxes. A good dry box will dry the filament. So my Chinese hygrometers, whatever, those show like 10% humidity, which I think is like the lowest possible value they can display. So basically they show 0 humidity. Okay. So Kai, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm gonna get $3.50 of that, but that's a different story. What am I doing outside of YouTube, as in professionally? Okay, what do I do as a job? Interesting question. Next question, please. This is my job. YouTube is my job at this point. Streaming, making videos, maybe doing a bit of outside consulting work. Yes, that is something I do occasionally, but YouTube is my job now. I did start out as I am a mechatronics engineer, Bachelor of Engineering, did that, been there, done that. And after that entire story with BQ, I don't want to get into that too much right now, but yeah, tried out a few different things, and eventually I ended up as a video guy. So yeah, this is what I do full time. Right, well, let me just check this real quick before we jump back into chat. Okay, we still need the hand screw, that M3 screw into this guy. There we go. Let's work through chat. Have I tried the Tallman 213? I have not. Would I recommend a Delta printer to get into 3D printing? If you get a really nice Delta kit, that, you know, just has everything figured out for you, nope, there we go, that has everything figured out for you and nicely set up and all, then a Delta is, you know, just as good as of an option to get into 3D printing as a Cartesian one. It might even be a better one. However, if you have a Delta kit that you have to tune in yourself and like set up yourself and figure out all the geometry yourself, it's a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, if you get a nice kit, then a Delta is definitely an option, but so is a Cartesian one. What are you using to design 3D pieces? Onshape for the most part. It's online, it's free, it's web-based CAD software, and it has most of the functionality I have, and for everything that it doesn't do out of the box, it has plugins or add-ons or apps or whatever they want to call it. So that's what I use, and it's free. The only condition is everything you design has to be public in the free, correct, wrong? In the free plans. So yeah, I can live with that because my 3D designs are not something that I want to keep behind closed doors anyways, so I'm totally fine with that. What about donations in cryptocurrencies? Yes, I have said before, I think I'm going to be switching to, so what I have right now in donations is YouTube Super Chat, which has a flat 30% fee that goes to YouTube. I have StreamTip, which is a very simple service, excuse me, which is a very simple service and charges nothing except for PayPal fees, which I think is cool. But it doesn't do a whole lot. I will be switching over to Streamlabs. What is it? Twitch alerts, essentially. Service made for Twitch that also works for YouTube, and that also has no fees, and I should be able to accept Bitcoin, etc. as well. It's going to be a very interesting thing with with taxes and stuff, but well, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it, and my accountant is gonna figure out the rest. The tax advisor, whatever the correct translation for Steuerberater is. So Manuel is saying we should be clicking in the JST connectors into the terminals until it makes a musical note. So I guess that is just a clicky sound. Green, black, red, blue, looking from the side with no autofocus for you? Yes, autofocus. Looking at the side with the little hooks in there. So, first side, green, and that is the correct orientation. These have the little tabs on the back here, if you can see that. That's, yeah, there you can see. It's a little piece of metal that's bent up, and these click into these holes in the back here. You can see this one is already in there. If you ever want to remove one of these, you press down this tab with a, well, I guess with a screwdriver or whatever else. You just press that down and you can pull out the wire at the same time. Thank you for the 1877. That's probably a weird conversion from some sort of currency. Tip from Kyle. Thanks for all the quality content. He's saying I've taken auto refresh. I've taken away quite a bit from all your work. Looking forward to new videos and live assemblies. Yeah, what I'm still trying to work on is making stuff shorter and like a bit more compressed. That's what the regular videos are for. I mean, obviously the live stream is a different format, but yeah, not as dense in information as a regular video, which I am regularly told, like the video stuff I do, like no bullshit. That's one of my policies. Just, you know, say what I want to say, get in there, get it done, get out of there. Which can be a bit overwhelming, but that's just how I work. Someone was asking about how Patreon works. So Patreon essentially is what? Hold on. Okay, so one second before I explain that. Extruder 1 has its Extruder 0 has green, black, red, blue. Extruder 1 has red, blue, green, black. So that is essentially, does that rotate the same way? No, it does not, because red and blue are switched. Okay. Does it matter? Yes, it does, because this is the marked one. This is the one that is extruder 1. And we have wired it up like extruder 0. Cool. Now I can show you how to remove these. Obviously, a screwdriver isn't the perfect choice here, but no, this one is not the perfect choice. Let's grab something a bit pointier. Maybe this flathead. Yeah, something. I need something even more pointy. I have the load spot removal tool. That should do the job. And sometimes you press down this tab too much and it just it doesn't pop back up. Like it did right there. And then you can just, reach under it and pry it up again a bit. And that will fix that really easily. But it will not fix the focus. Some of these days I'm gonna get a camera that actually focuses. So this tab right there, it's probably all just metal and metal. Sort of hard to see right there. That's the tab that we bent back up. $140mm of focal length times 2. That's a 280mm equivalent lens. But yeah, I was talking about Patreon. How does Patreon work? Yeah, it's a monthly support, say thank you, support your creators kind of service. So Patreon, other than like StreamTip and those services, Patreon is a recurring thing, a recurring service. So you pledge to support whatever creator you want to support with a fixed monthly or per work amount. So like I have it set up so that like the $5 Patreon, I think, is all dollar. The $5 Patreon gets live access to Q&A streams, which are, I have to admit, are somewhat random. All those get access to the live streams. Everyone else gets access to those as well, but doesn't get to join in live. Still, the option is there to. I screwed that up again. I need to concentrate real quick. Yeah, it gets access to the streams as well, just not live, but can still ask questions, etc. But it's not about like buying stuff from the people you want to support. It's about saying, hey, okay, I think your content is valuable to me. It's entertaining. I like it. I like watching your stuff. I'm learning something. Whatever it is, that creator X that you're supporting is doing well. You're saying, yes, I appreciate that, and I want to help this person, or maybe some humans don't identify as persons or people, but whatever. I want to support this being and make their life more independent of ads and sponsors or outside sponsors, and allow them to be working for the community. So yeah, that is the Patreon approach. At this point, I am really thankful for every single patron, even if it's just a $1 per month. At this point, I am surviving. I am putting food on the table. That is okay. So I'm not like pressuring you guys, trying to pressure you guys. But if you think this, I don't know, live streaming, whatever you value about this channel, I don't know what that would be, but if you think this stuff is valuable, I do appreciate your support a lot. So yeah. And again, like Patreon and direct tips and that sort of stuff, I keep pointing it out, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. It allows me to be independent of affiliate sales, essentially. Here we go. Affiliate sales, external sponsors like a Printer Pro or Loadspot or whoever else. So I don't have to rely on them. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, you know, whenever I do a sponsor deal, like with a Printer Pro or Loadspot is actually one of my patrons at a higher level. And, you know, whenever I do a sponsorship deal with, you know, companies like that, I'm always like, yeah, okay, we're going to do this sponsored video. You're going to get your brand shown and we can do, you know, we can do fun stuff there. But my opinion is going to stay my own. And I don't give a crap about whether I lose you as a sponsor or not because I dislike your actual product. Because there are other companies that are going to sponsor me, and also I have a lot of community support, and that just allows me to basically say the things I want to say, which is nice. It's a nice position to be in. Wow. Right. Same with Adam. Adam has been bothering me to do some sponsored stuff too. Still, I mean, I will have an opinion about this dual extrusion upgrade kit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, yes, that's fine too. But I'm not worried about, you know, not having them as a sponsor. Just to get that out of the way, I don't think I explained that particularly well with doing a few things at the same time, but you get the idea. I'm trying to get this guy out, but it doesn't look like I can. At least not with a simple hex key. Whatever, it's staying in. Thank you for the €5 tip, F4CJZ. What a weird name. Okay, 2 more JST connectors. These are for... What is this? Ah, okay, so that's the optical end stop. Well, that's the thermistor and third one right there. For the Z min switch on the carriage. There we go. So this guy does not have a polarity if it's just the thermistor, thermal sensor, what they're calling it. It does not have a positive or negative, so we can insert it whichever way we want. There we go, 2. And the other one, optical end stops, brown, blue, black. I'm sorry, I do have to rotate these so that I see the connector from the correct side. But if I show it to the camera while I'm inserting these, I'm just going to screw up. I'm just going to, nope, almost did it again. I'm just going to mess up these connectors again, and I'll have to undo them, which is probably even more boring to watch than not getting a good view of the connector for a second. Maybe from the top. That's not helping a lot, but whatever. We'll be over with it soon. It'll be over soon, kid. Don't worry. There you go. 1, 2, 3 in, and these should plug in straight into the main board. Have I reviewed ColorFab's engine yet? No, but there are plenty of engine spools back here in different versions. Engine Flex and regular engine, that is. It will be reviewed in season 2 of Philoween. Again, Philoween is taking a bit of a break right now while I figure out the new concept and the new tests I want to do, especially like flexibles and durable materials, I think are underrated in the current set of tests. So I am trying to figure out something new for those. Dual extruder system 2. Stepper motor, magnetic rod, cable tube. Okay, we'll just grab those as we go. After assembly, ensure that the filament can pass through the extruder junction, all connectors smoothly. Okay, we will do that. Too many details. Okay, spool mounts. We can assemble those. That's just packed in these baggies. I did appreciate that a lot with the original Atom build, just having everything in its individual bags, just shrinked in or sealed in. That's nice. You know, these are still the ESD type bags, which are not very transparent or see-through. Maybe someday they'll change those. Thank you for the $5 tip, Aaron Elsley. Love the reviews in the live stream. So you don't care about the guides? Oh, those are the ones that I care about. Okay. Should I be printing more fidget spinners? Maybe? Looks like the video quality is worse today. It is not, but I do have color lookup tables, so it's a bit more contrasting, a bit more colorful today compared to like a month ago. What was I going to answer? Is there going to be an April live stream on Patreon? Yes, there will be. I've not done the April one yet. Next weekend or so. I don't have a fixed schedule for those, but it's usually on the weekends where people are off work, hopefully. M5 25mm. Okay, so that's from a different bag. Interesting. Please no fidget spinners, but they get you views. People watch those. Tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views. Easily. No effort at all. Would make my life so much easier. Anyways. This guy's getting assembled. So again, we're getting two completely new spool mounts. I don't think we would have needed two new ones. It looks like this one is pretty much identical to the old one. That's the original part. It looks like this is pretty much the same assembly. So yeah, not sure why they're giving us two full new sets. Maybe to make it consistent. Saturation seems a bit high. I tried to match it to the regular video look. I tried to have it look exactly the same as the regular videos do. I'm not saying that it is better. Okay, but yeah, it's consistent. It's more consistent with what it usually looks like. That is interesting. So that actually screws through. That's going to capture that spring in there. That screws through off-centered. Interesting. So this guy, that's the screw right here, and this is going to capture the screw. Yes, that's going to be very finicky. M5 washer spacer. Okay, let's try to stack these up. So we're doing the M5 screw. We're doing a washer that widens it up to 8mm to fit the bearing right here. This is a regular skateboard bearing. Oh yeah, this fits very well, but we're inserting it from the other side, obviously. Wait, okay, washer first. M5, washer. Spacer. Then it gets inserted. Get over here. Too much contrast, essentially, what you're saying, Mr. P00F. God damn it. Get in there. There you go. Okay, the next one I'm going to assemble differently. Look, we made a fidget spinner. Holy crap. Holy crap, guys, we made it. I'm going to change the video title right now. This is so good. Hold on. I need bigger hands, but this is a two-handed. Holy crap. Where? This is too good. Boom, done. Okay. Did it. This is actually good fun. This is, you can turn it like that, or awesome. So there's one. Let's get back to the assembly. So screw, washer, spacer, washer, spacer, washer, part, nut. Okay. So washer, spacer, washer, and then we screw this to the same side as the motor mouse right here. There we go. And then no washer on here, but just the nut. That's doesn't feel right, but here we go. Why do I do this? Look, we can even do it like, yeah, it's a bit contrasty, but I'm also looking at this on a 15 or 20-year-old bank monitor. It's like, wow. You can even Adam should change the name of the upgrade kit. Definitely, they should be advertising this feature more. This thing spins pretty well. It's got the weight on the outside here. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. Just, yeah, keep an eye on the viewers. I do actually get a graph of viewers after the fact. So maybe put a motor on this and just have it spinning in one corner 24/7. It's interesting. If I bolt this down to the table, it's actually going to spin freely. The problem is I don't have an undo button for that title change. I do have to change it manually again. But whatever. We're still making spinners. It's not false advertisement. I mean, look at this. This is still, drop in the spacer. There we go. Washer. Spacer, I guess, yeah. Still spinning. Oh, this one feels a bit tougher. It doesn't spin as well. Maybe it's not heated up yet, but yeah, you do have to use it two-handed. Thank you for the 50 Danish krones tip. Minus 1724. Minus what? Hold on, we might be able to kick this up a notch. Give me a second while I assemble this guy. Also, guys, keep an eye on the thumbs down, thumbs up ratio. It's usually like 5 to 10% thumbs down on live streams. It's gonna be interesting what this one ends up at. So it can still slide around. I don't know if it's supposed to be sliding around or not. But check this out. So if we, yeah, two-handed, dual. I'm losing it. Probably. I've lost it a long time ago. Two-handed dual fidget atom spinners. Done. Got it. Okay. Mission accomplished. Let me change the title back. Bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna click save whenever. Not now. Okay, spinners done. Let's see what else. The manual calls for, yes, springs and that cross screw. That's been a real beast to assemble on the original one. Let's see if we can do this a bit more efficiently or a bit smarter here. So this has these two loops on the bottom here. And that is exactly where we will need to thread that screw through. However, that is inside the pot here. So basically blind, more or less. With the lid on top, obviously, that's staying here. Let's see. Obviously, there's only so many angles to look at this from, so it's either me or you. So right now, I'm getting the view. You are not. I'm sorry, but that's just the way things have to be right now. Maybe from above, yeah. Actually got him. Actually got him both. And that screws in. I remember that a lot harder. Okay, so this spinner now has a flappy thing on it. Wait, so can we still hold it right here? We can. It's still spinning. Let's put some filament on it. Let's drop some of that sick red atom filament. There we go. That's sort of weird because it never sits true on it. Let's see. It's spinning all right. It's spinning. And that is a very satisfying fidget spinner to me. Plus the red and black sort of makes it pop a lot. Even though I think it's sliding around a lot, but yeah, it's sort of loose on the spool, but it spins. It spins. What layer height are these? Around, I don't know, like 3 millimeters. One layer of cardboard. Okay, let's get the other one. Let's get the other one done. And maybe put another color weight on that, aka filament spool. If somebody wants to screenshot me spinning that thing, putting up on Twitter, and include the video title, that's the important one. You gonna get that retweet. after the stream. I can't do that many things at once. Okay, that's in. Do a trick. Do a barrel roll. I don't know, these aluminum parts are pretty sharp. I don't want to throw them around too much. I'm sort of afraid I'm going to cut my hand again. $900 fidget spinner. Is the upgrade that much? Social experiment on filament. I do have another Atom spool right here, but let's actually try something. Wait a second. Wait a second. This might be too large. That's a 2.2 kilogram spool. Oh, but it barely fits. I just have to tighten down this nut because this is sliding around. One sec. We can do this. We can do this. I should tighten it down at the very end though. There we go. Right. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Let's see, this is sort of hard to grab onto. That, you know, this is only the motor mount. I might break a finger, maybe. Oh gosh, this is impossible to hold. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's rubbing on my fingers. Let's try the other hand. There we go. Okay, one more try. Okay, barely, but yeah, got it. Well, I guess upside down it could also work, like gangster style. Right. Okay. Well, that's gonna have to be it. Enough messing around these. Ooh, this spring is getting all twisted up inside itself. Whoops. Good thing I have replacements. Yeah. Cool, but experiment is a success. Yes, if you've been 3D printing for more than, I don't know, maybe 7 or so years, you will know those big spools. That's what you used to be printing with back when like 3mm was all the rage and nobody had 2.85. Oh yes, the spring is slightly stretched out. Everybody was on 3mm filament that was actually still 3mm and not 2.85. Everyone was using those big spools because like one company in Germany made them, and that was Orbitech back then. They're still, I think they're still producing the specialty filaments, Laywood, etc. But yeah, they were making those 2.2 kilogram or 2.5 back then even ABS spools. PLA wasn't really a thing. Most people were printing ABS. Do I adjust this to some position? I don't know. But yeah, that is 2.2 kilogram spools of dust filament PLA, just plain PLA, because yeah, I use that for things. I go to PLA, regular one. So I'm guessing, excuse me, I'm guessing I can adjust this for like various layer heights, spool sizes, like adjust it further I got the hiccups. Adjust this guy further outwards. This is very dark, yes. Adjust it further outwards like it is right now for the larger spools, and then drop it further in to have less of a lever for regular size spools like this one. Interesting. I have to see what that is actually being used for. Ah, chat, I love you. You came here for the fidget spinner. Maybe jump back 5 minutes. That should explain a few things. Okay, back to assembling. So we assembled this guy, and now we get to attach it to the crossbeam on the printer. It's still on the box, it's still on the Poly Maker box. And it's still a lot taller than I'd like it to be, but that's just how it is. No, that is not the generic PLA. The generic PLA was a different one. What are the disadvantages of YouTube being my full-time job now? It's actually been my full-time job for pretty much a year now. Advantages, what I'm doing feels like I'm doing something that matters sometimes. Because community work, and I'm providing information to you guys, hopefully. That's at least that's the goal. Yeah, that's the pro essentially. Cons, no weekends, no vacation time, no fixed income, I guess. No bank loans because they don't know what self-employed people are. Pretty much. But I am enjoying it, even though it's probably not the smartest thing to do. It's not the most straightforward thing to do, but it's fun. It's yeah, essentially in the engineering job I was doing before, I felt like I was working against the wall. It was challenging. It was really challenging my engineering capabilities essentially, and management capabilities in the end also. But I just didn't feel like I was doing anything that made a difference, and that was the reason, one of the reasons why I changed to BQ first, because they were offering me a job in education and in like programming, awareness, Arduino sort of thing, teaching at schools, teaching students about programming and about robotics and that sort of stuff. So I took that. And same reason, it felt like I got the chance to do something that had a real impact. That's the same reason why I'm doing YouTube now. Because even though it's not saving world hunger or anything, I think it is, in a sense, making the world a bit of a better place. Just putting information out there in whichever way possible. That's like the core goals. That's why I am so and why I am sticking to the guides as a continued format. No, that guy. I do have like what I showed you, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, printing clear, that sort of stuff, where I do the test runs, investigate stuff, figure out things, and then compress it down into a video. That's the core reason why this channel exists. Like all the other stuff, like reviews and live streams and builds and that's just the core. Guides are still the core reason why I'm doing this. Healthcare? Nah, because I am... That's actually interesting. In Germany we have this thing called Künstlersozialkasse, which is basically, when it comes to social security, healthcare, that sort of stuff, replaces or acts as your employer. So I have healthcare. I have I pay into the state's retirement fund just like a regular employed person would do. So yeah. It's brown and sticky. Yeah. Where was that from? Cool. So spool holders are attached. This webcam is going to do a poor job of these spinners. Yeah, and this guy is slightly stretched out. Unfortunately, the large spool wasn't too kind to it. Why the side panels on Atom stick at the top? Why do they stick out at the top? That is a good question. I do not know the answer to, actually. Look at these. These are a bit taller on the top than they are on the bottom. It might be for looking symmetrical. No, it can't be. I don't know. They do stick out a bit, but then again, most of these parts up here do also stick out. Like if I turn it this way, like the filament spool mount over here. This part, this also sticks out a bit, and the side panels are mostly flush with this guy. Low number of views again, probably. I don't have the stats open. There we go. Okay, so that is mounted. We still don't have it adjusted or configured in any way. Mounting motors and extruders. Interesting. How much more is there to go? Wiring. It is 10:50 p.m. Should we leave that for another stream tomorrow, or should we finish this guy today, even though we might not make it all the way through? What do you guys think? Another stream tomorrow where we actually include a print, or a as fast as possible build today with no print at the end? I am leaning towards calling it a day for now, and continuing tomorrow and making sure it is printing tomorrow, and pushing out some of those sweet dual extrusion printers, printsies. There's one, there's two. Finish him. Finish today. So let's just take a quick peek through the manual. So this is where we're at. We're at page 36 of 53. Extruder mounts, dual extruder assembly, PDF E-tube wiring this guy up, wiring up the tube, connecting everything to the board. Connecting the fans again. Reinstalling the heat bed. Reinstalling the feet. Well, what? Heat bed and electronics. Yeah, reinstall the bottom frame. Checking everything, flashing firmware, I believe, maybe. Yeah, installing the firmware. Setting up a slicer, and then getting it working. Whew. Tomorrow is good. Yeah, so let's do it that way. 10:52 p.m. I think that makes sense, because like an hour to finish this is not realistic. It's probably going to be more like 1.5 hours. I'll let you guys in Australia. Why the hell? Okay, so it's like 10:50 in the morning for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go to bed. Enjoy your Easter Monday wherever in the world that is a holiday for you. Yeah, but like tomorrow, I think I'm gonna be working on the E3D Titan Aero review, just finishing scripting that and doing a few measurements, and yeah, do that during the day, and then in the evening, same time as today probably, do another stream of this guy. These long streams. I'm getting old, guys. I really I feel like I am. Like the 14-hour streams, that was okay, that wasn't that long ago, but yeah, this is exhausting. Anyways, thanks for being here. I will see you all tomorrow again, and until then, have a nice day, have a nice evening. Get subscribed, use the Amazon, eBay, Meta Hackers, iGo3D, and AliExpress affiliate links in the video description. Check out Patreon, get subscribed, like the video, all that stuff. Thanks. See you.